But anyway, so the dermatologist to give me some of this cream to smear on my neck for this rash. It's only been a couple of months. I mean, I'm a little impatient. And it is going away. It's going away. There's like maybe I would say 90% back in the ballpark now. But there's a little bit of it left. So they said, my dermatologist, I saw him at the game Monday night, the hockey game. He said, keep smearing that stuff on there. It'll go away. So I've been smearing it on there, but they had only a few little samples they gave me. So they'd given me a prescription for a big bottle of this, whatever the hell it's called, some kind of cream you smear on there. Smear cream. So I take the prescription yesterday on the way home from Mommy's house. I take the prescription to my Walgreens where I buy all my prescriptions, and I spend thousands of dollars on prescriptions there every year, by the way. I was one of their first best customers. See, it's interesting, in the beginning when these stores first opened, because there's one in every street corner in Eckerd's, a Walgreens, every street corner there's another one. And when they first opened, they ought to kiss the ground that any of us actually live close enough to go in there and patronize them to keep them going until they all get too busy. Because one thing in this town, you can never have too many drugstores. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Everybody's got prescription drugs. All of us were all sick, especially the old farts. So anyway, this place is a zoo now. But at 4 o'clock, I go in there. I says to the pharmacist, I give him the prescription. I said, I'll come back around 6. Now, if there was a problem with my coming back around 6, he should have said, well, we're really backed up, make it around 6:30. He looked at me, no problem, okay. It's in the computer, your name, you get all your stuff here, fine. I go back to the store 5 minutes till 6. I know, I'm always a little bit prematurely early, like all these guys in the survey. I'm a little bit prematurely early. 5 to 6. There's a couple of people standing on line, 3 or 4. And, of course, they also have the drive-through prescription thing outside. This is one of the worst things, one of the worst ideas. You people that go through the drive-thru to get your prescriptions filled, and I've done it at, a couple of stores, shame on you. Because you don't really think that the stores, like when you go through, like George mentioned, Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's, the same people that are feeding the people inside and taking care of your orders are not the same ones that are doing the orders at the drive-thru window. They have separate people taking care of that. Do they do that at the drugstores? No. However many, 2 or 3 people that they got working on 6,000 prescriptions inside and waiting on the customers inside, those are the same ones that have to take care of the people driving up outside. What are you shaking your head about? That's the way it works, Mr. Dumbo.
That's insane.
Well, that's insane, and that's why now, if you got to go pick up a prescription, tell them you're going to pick it up at 7 and then show up like at 10 o'clock at night. And oh, sorry, we're closed. Seriously. And then maybe if you're lucky, they'll slide it under the door. So anyway, I am waited on finally. I'm not the most patient person in the world to say the very best. And I'm waited on by I don't want to, how do I say this delicately, okay? A young minority lady. Let's leave it at that. Now, I understand that all you people in retail, you're all under a lot of pressure, EEO, PEO, whatever the hell it is, CEO, but EIO. If you're going to hire people that aren't really all that swift, why not have them putting all the stationery supplies out there, Why not have them straightening out the candy aisle? Why would you have? Because as I left there finally after this experience, I'm thinking to myself, if these are the kind of people that are working in the prescription department, how many people are really getting the right? You know what I'm saying? We're always hearing about people getting the wrong prescription, and in the hospital they get it, at the drugstore. So anyway, I tell her my name, my real name, of course, which I do all my business under. And she starts looking through the bags, and the under the B's. She starts looking in there. And then she looks at me again and says, spell that for me again. Okay. And I spell it for her again, and she's potchking around and looking. And now, of course, now she's also running over to the window of the drive-thru people because she's got some bitch out there that she's not finished taking care of out there. And now and of course, by the time she comes back, what was that again? How do you spell that? And this is the 3rd time, okay? Now she goes over and looks, fumbles through all of the stuff that's sitting on the counter that they haven't put in the bins yet. You've seen that. And she's looking and looking. And now the line is starting to get longer. There's a plantation porker in there. There's about a half a dozen people. Now there's 7 people. The line is getting longer and longer. And they got about 2 or 3 people filling prescriptions behind there that are obviously just 8 million miles behind. They just can't catch up. She comes back. She looks in the bin again. She turns around and says to me, after she goes back to the drive-thru window again to say, oh, we're looking at it. Hang on. And she comes back to me. Now, what was that name again? What was the first name? This is the 4th time. I'm not making this up, okay? I have no reason to exaggerate. She diddles around, and now she's looking through, on the little bins that have the prescription bags in them. It'll say like BA, BE, to give an idea so you don't have to look through all of them. Now she's looking through like BT. Well, I guess what? There's no T in mine. She comes back again after diddling through all these bags, which it's obviously not in there yet. And she's got a little slip of paper and a pencil. And she says, what was that last name? How do you spell it again? This is the 5th time. And I said to her, are we on candid camera? Where's the camera? I'm looking around. Or is this a joke? And I start spelling it for her, and she writes down like ZQX. I mean, not exactly that, but letters that haven't been invented in my name yet. Now the prescription guy comes over, the guy that I had dropped it off with, the pharmacist, and he says, oh, yeah, it's over there. It'll be a few minutes. I said, well, he says, you said 6 o'clock. I look at my watch. It's now a minute till 6. He said, oh, yeah, it'll be a few minutes. So I'm sitting there. Now the next woman, a middle-aged woman, comes up there. She's been standing behind me while all this is going on with the same girl waiting on her. And believe it or not, exactly, she must have spelled her name 792,000 times. Given the first name 2,184,000 times. And to be honest with you, I'm not really sure she ever even got the stuff. And then finally, after going back and forth, and this girl says to her, well, do you know what the prescription was for? What the drug was? And she says,
no.
I'm going to tell you something. You folks in retail, if you want to keep hiring dumb people, you're going to lose business. That's all I can tell you. I'm talking dumb. I'm not saying that was necessarily her fault it wasn't ready yet, but how many times can you ask a person the same goddamn question before they finally just start screaming? I actually said that to her. Are we on candid camera? Is this a joke? And she just looked at me with a straight face. She didn't know candid camera from her rectum. She didn't even know what I was talking about. So it wasn't funny, it wasn't amusing, it wasn't sarcastic. It was like she was nonplussed by it. Honey, I'm going to tell you something. Straighten out those candy aisles, sweetheart. Get those envelopes and paper pads all straightened out there in the stationery, but stay out of the prescription department. People's lives depend on that crap.